It began on an otherwise ordinary Friday night, the kind of night where exhaustion makes the quiet between two people feel heavier than usual. My husband, Daniel, had barely spoken for days. We'd been married for 8 years, and though tension wasn't new to us, this distance felt different, colder, sharper, and frighteningly final. I imagined that a spark, something bold and intimate, might mend the widening space between us. I was wrong, terribly wrong. Daniel had always been a man grounded in principle. He needed clarity, truth, and a sense of predictability. I used to find that steady nature reassuring, but slowly over the years routine became tedious repetition. We hardly touched anymore, and when we did, it felt perfunctory, like a chore performed out of routine, not passion. I missed the way he once looked at me, the warmth and longing that used to glow in his eyes. About a week before that Friday, a coworker, someone I probably should have never confided in, told me that sometimes couples need to break boundaries to ignite desire again. Shock him, she joked. Surprise him. Push the limits a little. It sounded harmless then, like advice pulled from a lifestyle blog. I didn't realize how catastrophically I would interpret it. So that night, I tried something new, something that, looking back, didn't just overstep a line, but trespassed a deep moral boundary Daniel and I had never had to articulate. When he walked into our bedroom, I was waiting. Candlelight shimmered against the walls, soft music filled the air, and I had planned every detail, down to perfection. I thought he would see the effort, that he would remember the woman he had once adored. But when I revealed what I wanted, when I invited him into something he viewed as betrayal, even as a suggestion, I saw his expression shift instantly. Surprise melted into disgust, followed by a suffocating silence. He didn't shout. He didn't accuse. He simply froze. The candle flames quivered across his pale face as neither of us spoke. Then he turned, opened the door, and walked out. I called after him, tried to explain, but he wouldn't so much as glance back. The sound of the front door closing was sharper than any argument could have been. He slept in the guest room. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, realizing I had done something I could never take back. I hadn't cheated, not in the conventional sense, but I had invited something foreign, something he saw as a violation of the sacred space we had built together. I crossed a boundary he believed we both respected, without ever needing to articulate it. The next morning, the house felt painfully hollow. He sat at the kitchen table, staring into his coffee, his eyes miles away. I tried to apologize, but he cut in softly. "You knew that wasn't us," he murmured. "You knew I would never be okay with that." His voice wasn't angry, just empty, echoing through some hollow place inside him. That scared me more than anything. "I just wanted to fix things," I whispered. "I wanted to feel close again." He finally looked up, but the gentleness I knew was gone. "You don't fix something by breaking it more," he said. "What you did wasn't about closeness. It was desperation. And when you made that choice, you didn't think about me, you thought about what you wanted to feel again." That was the last true conversation we had. 2 weeks have passed since. He's still in the house, but we move around each other like strangers. He avoids my eyes. He eats in silence. If I walk by him, he shifts slightly away, as though even proximity causes him pain. The distance between us feels like a canyon, I carved with my own hands. I replay that night endlessly, wishing I could undo it, wishing I had never listened to anyone but my own heart. Daniel used to say, "Trust isn't just about honesty. It's knowing the other person would never deliberately push you into a place your soul refuses to go." And that's exactly what I did. I pushed him. I shattered something sacred, not through infidelity, but through disregarding a boundary that defined him. Sometimes I hear him in the living room late at night, scrolling through old photos on his phone. I know because I hear faint echoes of our laughter from years ago. I stand in the hallway, unseen, listening, wishing I could go back to when we were still us. But every time I consider walking in, apologizing again, something stops me because now I understand. He isn't ready to hear anything from me. Maybe he never will be. I crossed a forbidden line in a reckless attempt to revive what we were, and in doing so, I fractured the quiet trust that held us together. Love doesn't always die in grand betrayal. Sometimes it fades in the slow realization that the person next to you stopped recognizing your heart long before you noticed. Now he won't even look at me, not out of rage, but because seeing me reminds him of something we lost. And every day I live with that silence, the heaviest punishment of all, one I inflicted on myself.